The conversation this weekend about Lane Kiffin being a hoe or a housewife was absolutely electric, and that reporter should 1,000% drop a hellacious diss track, even though he 1,000% shit his pants. It's a terrible football show. What do you expect?
I want whatever you guys are smoking right now.
Just in my brain, it just makes so much sense.
OH!
Oh, baby, yeah! You have no quarterback. You're going to need some punters.
Welcome to a Terrible Football Show, episode 140, kind of an episode. Today's date of this recording is December 2nd, 2025. I'm flying solo today, so we're going to have some fun, I guess. There's a lot of things to talk about, and I am extremely qualified to talk about all of these things and give you my opinions on every single one of them. You have come to the right place about every single answer to anything involving the world of sports right now, involving Lane Kiffin, all these other coaching changes, college football playoff, conference championships, you name it, I have the answers. You are in the right place. I have literally zero qualifications other than just giving really terrible opinions, and you should drop a comment down below and tell me that I'm terrible at what I do because I feed off that energy. Hashtag do better. There's a lot of headlines for today's episode that I'm going to be going through. Like number one, Lane Kiffin to LSU. My thoughts on it. Is he a hoe or a housewife? That question will be answered here today, as well as the conference championships and how everything has shaped out, how the college football playoff could shape out, the Heisman, college game day going to Atlanta instead of a battle of 1-2. I'll touch on some NFL stuff because we got things going on there, and I may give my picks at the end as well. But first, the two biggest headlines of the week right now. Number one, why didn't ATFS have a show last week? I was sick, okay? Deal with it. All right, it's that simple. Everyone was busy. It's Thanksgiving week. It sucks we did not have a show last week because it was like, of course, Rivals Week, and that's like my favorite week of college football. And I spent like 6 hours preparing graphics for 130 rivalries in college football that had either a trophy and or a really dope name, and we were going to go through Tier Maker and tier every single one of them, and we're still going to do that. So to really set it in your brain that I wanted a show to happen last week, but just could not. I absolutely could not talk. Everyone was just kind of busy for one thing or another. It was terrible. 0 out of 10 wouldn't recommend, but we're going to be back at some point with that tier list because I spent way too much work on those graphics for that to go to waste. And the second biggest headline of the week, I got a Colt Brennan Hawaii jersey. All right, now this is a big deal, legitimately. This has been one of my biggest chase jerseys that I've been after for quite some time. I got this one from Shop Goodwill. I was bidding for it. Shout out to Tyler for sending it to me, as well as gassing me up through the entire bidding process. This one means a lot to me. Colt Brennan is my all-time favorite college football player. Rest in peace to him. Around his era was whenever I was really starting to actually get into football. I was kind of a late bloomer on everything. And I remember staying up late as a kid to watch Hawaii games and watch him absolutely light it up. And I remember watching the Heisman ceremony with him, Chase Daniel, Darren McFadden, and Tim Tebow. And I thought it was so cool that one guy could take a program on his back and take it to a national stage. I thought that was like one of the coolest things in the world about college football. And it's really thanks to him that I am a Hawaii fan today. So getting this was a really awesome accomplishment in my fandom, and I had to share it today. It is now going to be in my background of jerseys that I have over at my main desk. This and completing Devin Hester's like NFL career was probably two of my favorite moments of like my NFL fandom of like collecting things. When I got his Ravens and Seahawks jersey, that was a pretty cool moment of just like, wow, I've got his entire career now. And then getting this jersey last week was also a really awesome accomplishment for me as a fan. Shout out to Hawaii. Great year. Capped it off with a W, going to a bowl game. Micah got Mountain West Freshman of the Year. That's really cool. Shout out to the Bows. This is an absolutely incredible moment. Rest in peace, Colt Brennan. Absolute legend. All right, no more playing around. We're getting to the actual headlines now. Even though that was a headline, let's not knock that. All right, that's pretty cool. Lane Kiffin is now the head coach of the LSU Tigers, and there was obviously the massive conversation of that reporter with the hoe or the housewife comment. Lane confronting him. That reporter 1,000% shitting his pants, no matter what he wants to try to say. But he can drop a hellacious diss track now, so I'm looking forward to that. But no, that is obviously a massive conversation. Ole Miss fans, you guys are very, very upset. And I've been thinking about this all day, and there's a couple different ways to look at this, man, because like at the end of the day, is Lane a hoe or a housewife? I say neither. I say he is a human being. He made a decision as a human being to take sorry, guys, a better job. If you're an Ole Miss fan, if you're a diehard Rebel fan, you may have disagreements on that because of where Ole Miss is right now. But at the end of the day, which one has won a national championship since 2000. In fact, they've won a couple, right? I think 3, right? Yeah, total of 3. Nick won one, Les, and then of course the Ed one, right? And I think they also competed in another one as well where they got their shit smacked off them, but whatever. One's won championships, one hasn't, right? I mean, like, you have a program like LSU and kids just want to go there so they can say they're possibly the best LSU Tiger of all time. Like, that's what LSU brings to the table versus Ole Miss. Now, I understand the argument for the Ole Miss because, like, the Ole Miss, you guys just had your greatest season of all time, right? You had your greatest stretch of all time with Lane. So there's two sides to this. There is the side of, do you want to stay at Ole Miss and not just be a chapter of the book, but you become the book? I mean, like, we don't know what could have happened. He could have stayed at Ole Miss and he could have won a natty or two. Who knows, right? And then at that point, let's say he's there for 15 more years and, you know, he gets his replacement. That replacement's also a dog, and he's there for 15 years plus, or whatever the case is. Then you're starting to get into a situation like the Steelers of the NFL, where you have 3 coaches since, like, what, the 70s, like, or you're getting into a situation like what Nebraska was before that one dipshit AD came in and fired Pollock, right? Like, you're getting into those situations, right, where Ole Miss becomes that next level. Or you go to LSU, and unfortunately, the book's already written. It's the LSU Tigers football, man. That is the book that already exists, and you become another chapter of that book. Unfortunately, he just chose to go be a chapter of that book. From everything that we can kind of understand and see in the grapevine and see what's being given to us in the reporting, money-wise, everything was the same. This was never about money for him. He claims he doesn't even know what his contract is. I don't think anyone buys that for a single second, but he claims it's about the money for the kids and getting for the recruiting and the NIL and stuff, which I can possibly believe a little bit more, because at the end of the day, LSU just has more money. At least I'm assuming and pretty sure it does. I'm not an SEC guy. I just talked about how I loved Hawaii so much, so back off, okay? Roast me in the comments, correct me, whatever, but I would safely assume LSU has a lot more money to spend to go out and get top recruits versus Ole Miss. And I think that's what it just came down to, is just getting the right money in there to continue to grow. Maybe that was battles that Lane was facing. Now, him leaving the way that he does, is it upsetting? I would safely assume, yeah. I mean, you guys could potentially compete for a national championship, but again, with all the information that we have in front of us of where the LSU AD was like fine with him competing for a championship, Lane wanted to, and apparently it's the Ole Miss AD that did not want to. Did not want him to do that, which, I mean, he's not wrong for that, because it's, like their number one rival he's going to, so he's kind of justified in that, right? But at the same time, it's like, look, if you guys were in the same position and you guys were not an Ole Miss alum, you're not from the state of Mississippi, and you were placed in the same position where you could get a job upgrade, sorry, Ole Miss fans, it's the truth, it's a job upgrade, wouldn't you take it? That's being a human being of taking a better job. It sucks for the Rebel fans. I'm sorry, but I also don't think he's like a complete snake in this whole process. He gave you guys 6 years. Now, the Tennessee situation, buddy, that's different. Buddy, that's different. And even he admits, he admitted in like his little interview with Marty that he regrets that they only got 1 year there. Like, that's different. Vols fans, buddy, Vols, you guys are in the right. And Vols fans over here now telling Ole Miss, hey, we told you. But he also gave Ole Miss 6 years. He did do that, right? And all this could blow up in smokes, and he gets fired in 2-3 years at LSU and doesn't pan out. He goes back to a group of 5, makes them a dog, goes back to another Power 5, or just goes to a lower Power 5 after LSU. Who knows? That may be how it worked out, and we're going to be sitting here like, man, the grass was greener with Ole Miss. He should have just stayed there. But also, like, hey, Ole Miss fans, you guys are mad at Lane about it, and it's like, I guess you could also say you could be mad at Pete Carroll and Nick Saban, because I guarantee you they both told him to take the job. Lane already basically said Pete said, hey, your dad would tell you to go after this opportunity. And I guarantee you Nick said the same thing of like, hey, take the job. It's a job upgrade. You're going to have better resources for this and this and this. Take the job, right? So is he a hoe or a housewife? I say he's a human. Is this whole situation really shitty? Yeah, I feel for you Ole Miss fans. I also feel for you guys with the hiring that you guys did get of Golding. He was, to me, a hire where it's like you're just trying to keep players there that you got, and that's all it was. I feel for you Ole Miss fans. You guys have every right to be mad, but like at the end of the day, he made a human decision, right? It's what it is. He made a human decision. He took a job upgrade. If you disagree with the job upgrade, I don't know what to tell you because it is. I mean, realistically, it's a job upgrade. I mean, it is. But in the whole thing, it is what it is. One thing I cannot wait for is I cannot wait for Lane to come back to Oxford. I cannot wait to see those videos. That is going to be the most booed man in sports. And it's going to be electric, and I absolutely cannot wait for it. But at the end of the day, he made a human decision, and I guarantee you a lot of you would have made the exact same decision unless you were, like, again, an alum of Ole Miss or from the state of Mississippi or whatever. You guys probably would have made the same decision. I'm just saying. Well, you know, we see it all the time. You know, if you have no strong affiliation to a school, most of the time you're going to be ready. You don't mind dipping on out of there. That's just the facts of the matter. It is what it is. Can't wait to see that man get booed in Oxford. It's going to be absolutely electric. And also, the dog situation is kind of wild too. I'll be very curious to see an update on Juice. Kind of wild. Next thing I want to talk about is conference championships, because there's obviously a lot of conversation since Duke made the ACC championship, which is hilarious and wild. Look, I'll go ahead and say it. Hot take. Bring back divisions. All right. I want to see divisions again. I like divisions. All right. Now, I know a lot of people may immediately turn to, oh, well, I mean, look at the Big Ten. The Big Ten was terrible. You had situations like Purdue versus Ohio State. Yeah, that's because once they got rid of leaders and legends, it was complete dog shit. But hey, now you got all the Pac schools into the mix. And depending on where you want to cut that line off, you might could squeeze Indiana into one side versus like the Ohio State, the Michigan, and the Penn State, whatever. That's if Penn State ever gets back to rise. That situation is crazy itself as well. But I mean, I feel like if you did divisions for like almost like bring them back for all, you know, conferences, some of this shit wouldn't happen. And some of this shit might make a little bit more sense. Because Duke making it, like, look, I understand for all three of these conferences, it goes by like a strength of schedule on like common opponents or something like that. But at the same time, you're going to tell me that Duke gets in over some of the other schools that's more deserving, right? Or the same thing going up to the MAC, all right? Miami of Ohio gets in, and they lost to Toledo and Ohio both in the regular season. So at this point, what's the point of conference games? Like West Michigan, that one makes sense, all right? That one makes sense. Make that is the bona fide, yes, that one makes sense. But you're going to skip over the two teams that beat the team that made it in, and based off just like common opponents or something. At this point, what's the point of conferences? Like, you beat the other two teams. I mean, you lost to the other two teams that you beat out to get into the conference championship. It makes no sense. And it's the same thing over in the Mountain West. Mountain West had a little bit more kind of arguments. Everyone kind of had an argument, right? It's UNLV and Boise State, which also I really hate. I really hope UNLV takes that one, because we need to keep the Mountain West championship actually in the Mountain West, since Boise's getting on out of here, which I feel like should have happened like a decade ago, but it's neither here nor there. You know, I get it. UNLV is 10-2 on the year. You know, Boise State is 9-3, but also like New Mexico beat UNLV, right? And they also beat San Diego State. At least I think that's right. Let me fact check. Yeah, New Mexico beat UNLV and they beat San Diego State, right? So there was an argument there where they should have got in over UNLV. Like, I understand there's the better record situation of like, oh, UNLV's 10-2. You want to prop them up, put them. Okay. What about over in the ACC then? Like, look, I've been a Miami fan a lot of my life before Hawaii completely stole my heart over these last few years, because the fandom is absolutely amazing and I love the Hawaii fandom. But like, Hawaii at 10-2, like, I can tell you that I don't think they deserve to be in the ACC championship with how they played ACC play with the two losses they had, right? You know, but it's also at the other side. It's like over here, it's like you got a team that has beat you and beat one of the other teams that's in the mix. So it's like, I don't know, man. The conference championship thing is weird to me. Like, bring back divisions, right? Shout out to the Sun Belt. I hope they don't get rid of it. I don't know if they're getting rid of it. I haven't seen any news if they're getting rid of it. Bring back divisions. I'll say it. Just do it, okay? Just do it. You know, bring it back. And that's going to be kind of tough for the Mountain West and the Pac, because they're going to have like 10 schools apiece, whatever, which I respect the Pac for trying to stay relevant. You know, they're going to be there. They will be a power conference in other athletics like basketball or something. But football, that's a group of 5 conference. I'm sorry. It is. We have a group of 6. We got a power 4. That's what's happening. Honestly, I think Mountain West and Pac should have just fully fused. You know, I mean, all those teams that got into the Pac, just leave those in the Mountain West. The ones that came in from outside the Mountain West, make one big happy conference, right? The Pacific Mountain West Conference. That would have been elite. I would have loved that. I love West Coast ball. West Coast ball is elite. But either way, but yeah, bring back divisions. Bring back divisions. This conference championship stuff is crazy. Just like the college football playoffs is shaping out to be insane. I mean, because there's so many questions where what if Duke wins? You can't justify putting Duke in the college football playoff just because they're the ACC champion and ACC is considered a power. You can't justify that, right? At that point, you're opening up for James Madison and like the other, not assuming James Madison and the like American Conference winner, whether it's North Texas or Tulane, into the college football playoff along with the other like conference championship winners. That'd be the top of like the SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 10. This is crazy. The college football playoff right now is crazy. It's wild. It's a wild situation. And I got to be honest, I've been saying this, at least to the boys the last few weeks. Like, I feel like this college football playoff is going to be another thing of where more changes are to come, right? We saw changes last year with how seeding went, how that whole situation was because like Arizona State and Boise State being like 3 and 4, and just how that whole situation went down, how the entire first round went last year. It was a colossal disaster. All the games sucked, right? I think this year is also going to be another catalyst to create more change. Now, what that change is, I don't know. And I don't simply mean like, oh, we need to go to 16 teams or 24 teams. I don't mean that. I mean like who gets in is the catalyst I think this season's going to get. Because here's the thing. If James Madison or Tulane or North Texas, any of those three, if obviously one of them is going to get in, right? At least one is going to get in, if not two. I'm in the mindset, sorry, I'll go ahead and say it up front. Any of those three gets in versus anyone else that's set to be in the college football playoff, they're going to probably get dog walked. Like, there's not really any of the other college football playoff contender teams that I can see them rivaling. The only one would be if Virginia wins the ACC and Virginia gets in. Virginia is the only one that I could see just kind of rivaling any of those group of 5 teams. If you put any of those, James Madison, North Texas, Tulane, against anybody else in the current conversation, the Oklahoma, the Bama, Georgia, Indiana, Ohio State, et cetera, Notre Dame, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Notre Dame didn't have Jeremiah Love. So that's also going to be a question here on if they even get in, because we saw it happen to Florida State, but that was a much more exclusive playoff situation. And also another thing, Ole Miss, does Ole Miss get in? They don't have Lane Kiffin. That's another situation as well. It's crazy out here. College football playoff is wild. The metrics to get in and get out are absolutely insane. The time I'm recording this, we'll have like a new ranking here in a couple hours. I'm not waiting a couple hours to do this recording again. I'm knocking this out as soon as I got home from work. I don't care. It is what it is. But like, that's going to be the question in situations like Notre Dame and Ole Miss. Do they get in because of injury and coaching losses, right? Like, there's a lot of questions in play. And I feel like, again, this is going to be a huge catalyst because I'm telling you, watch the playoffs. If whatever group of 5, whether it's 1 or 2 teams, get in and absolutely get demolished right out of the gate, then I'm going to throw out an argument that I don't think group of 5 gets a guaranteed shot anymore like they've got. I understand wanting to prop up the group of 5, and I love that because I prefer group of 5 over power. A hot take there, but I do. I genuinely do. Give me a Mountain West or give me a MAC game any day of the week over a power-up matchup. That's hot take, I know. But I love me some group of 5 ball. But I could see a world going down where they eliminate the group of 5 conversation. Last year, I got to be honest, I was shocked to see how Boise State performed because last year really felt like a year with Hawaii, where you had one player that propped up an entire program and take them to the next level. Now, granted, even in Hawaii's case, they got absolutely demolished in the Sugar Bowl by Georgia. Unfortunate is what it is. We move on. But like I'm telling you, I could really see a world where the group of 5 is no longer a guarantee. Especially if you let 2 in, if somehow Duke beats Virginia and they get both absolutely just smacked, like then I could really see a situation of our group of 5 is going to have a guarantee. The whole everything about the seeding stuff is insane to me. There's obviously the conversations where they're going to go up to 16 teams here in a couple of years, potentially to 24. If they end up going to that point, I'm in the hard boat. Cut the regular season. Who gives a shit? I know we all want more football. We all want more college football. Just cut it down to 10 games. Who gives a shit? Cut it down to 10 games. Give you the bigger playoff. Whatever. And another thing I want to talk about, and I'm gonna battle Ricky on this because he argued with me in the Discord. The Discord you should join, by the way. It's on the link below. The AP needs to go away. Up front, AP needs to go away. There's no reason to have the AP in college football playoff. Ricky disagrees. I'm looking forward to his argument whenever he comes back, whenever that's going to be. But there's no point to have both. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just plant my flag in the ground. There's no point to have both. Make college football playoff a all season long running ranking. You don't need both. It gets messy when the college football playoff rankings start. Get rid of AP. AP as a publication will be fine without doing college football rankings. Plus, shout out to the guy with the AP that put Connecticut twice in his rankings, like 23rd, 24th. He had it as Connecticut and UConn. So, Ricky, me and you we're gonna go to war on this. All right, I can't wait for it. It's gonna be great. Love you, Rick. But everything about the college football playoff thing is insane. Like, I mean, this is gonna be such an insane seeding process, and the bracket's gonna be crazy. The bracket is obviously gonna take place this weekend on Sunday, I think. We should have a live show next week. I know Ricky was really wanting to react to it on the show. I think, so we should have a live show on Tuesday or Wednesday where we will talk about the bracket and how we think this thing is gonna go, because this shit crazy. Let's talk Heisman and College Game Day. College Game Day is going down to Atlanta for the SEC championship with Georgia and Bama, a matchup that's already happened, and ignored the 1-2 matchup for the Big Ten championship and basically battle for the Heisman in a way with Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza. And a lot of people are pretty pissed off about it because obviously the SEC biasness continues to reign with College Game Day. And honestly, guys, what it comes down to is just Disney bucks. It's Mickey's wacky bucks is what it comes down to. ESPN has so much Disney has so much in like ESPN and the success of the SEC and all that BS. So it makes sense if you're going to pick one of the two, you're going to the one where all your money's in kind of thing. I know they just did Ohio State the week before. I don't think that played into it. I really think it's just Disney, but like, nah, go down to the SEC championship. It's where all our money's at, And I will say, I saw someone say that this feels like one of the most lackluster 1-2 matchups in history. And it's no disrespect to the teams or anything, but it's also just because of like, they're both going to get into the college football playoff. So it matters, and it doesn't matter who wins, I feel like it's just going to be an electric matchup for pride as well as the Heisman, which I want to know, who do you think is going to win the Heisman? This entire time I was supposed to ask questions on your thoughts, and I have forgotten up until this exact moment. So, yeah, I'm going to have a comment down below asking every question that I was supposed to ask, plus every question I'm asking forward. But, yeah, who do you think is going to win the Heisman? Are you going to pick Julian Sayin or Fernando Mendoza? I saw a lot of people talking trash about the yardage mount. Apparently, that's just like the running clock thing, guys. I mean, a lot less play time is happening because of the running clock. Plus, hadn't Mendoza barely played fourth quarter. It's kind of crazy. But either way, the matchup should be great. Can't wait for it. But in my opinion, give it to Fernando. I want to see Fernando win it. Let Indiana take on my Heisman. I think that'd be electric. Let's go. What the hell was I going to talk about next? I don't remember. All right, let's touch on some NFL stuff. Like the Bears being the leader of the NFC right now. That is just insane. I got to be honest with you guys. The last year of Nagy and the 2.5 years of Flus was the most agonizing time I have ever had to be a Bears fan. And I'm sure, obviously, this is a wide opinion. I'm not giving some crazy special opinion on this. And it was to the point where it's just like, man, I wanted to announce my fandom. I can't take this pain and suffer. It made me low-key fall in love with the game of football because of just how much it was so bad. I turned off all notifications for like ESPN, NFL app, and everything. And funny enough, I think they're actually still turned off on my phone to this day. I've never turned them back on. But I was done with football last year because of just I could not stand the Bears. I could not stand what we were doing with Flus. The fact we kept Flus. The fact for the third time we did the thing where we kept a hot seat coach, draft a quarterback. I was at my limits. And then we finally fire a coach for the first time in team history mid-season. It's just like, whoa, okay, buddy, we are changing. And we went into the offseason, we hire 43 million guys like David Shaw, former Stanford coach, during the Luck years, I think. And I'm just like, we're going to screw this whole thing over, aren't we? And we didn't. We made the safe hire. We interviewed Vrabes. It was going to potentially be Vrabes, which I was totally cool with. I was totally cool with McCarthy personally. And I really wanted Ben Johnson. He was the safest hire from just everything that we know. And we did it. We made the safe pick. Just like whenever we drafted Caleb, we made the safe pick. We didn't do anything super crazy. We didn't draft Michael Penix or J.J. McCarthy, right? Like when we drafted Trubisky. We didn't do something wacky tobacco the way that we like to do. We did the safe thing twice. Drafting Caleb, getting Ben. And after that, I said on the show, hey, if we still suck, if everything goes up, the golden egg that we had of back-to-back first overall picks, all this damn money to spend, if all that went down the drain after those two things, at that point, we're cursed. I'll go ahead and admit it. We're cursed because you didn't do anything crazy. You didn't do anything wacky. You did the safe stuff, right? You did the safe plays. And I'm glad to see it's working out. Low key, though, I'm kind of just waiting for the next loss. Hope to God it's not the Packers, though. Because I want to get that monkey off the back. Man, this winning streak can't continue forever. And I don't think we're going to the Super Bowl this year. I think there's still building to be done. This defense is elite, though. I do like the defense a lot, especially the linebacking core and the secondary. We've got a lot of depth. The Bears are rocking and rolling. I love to see it. But offense, I think we're getting better week after week, and I'm here for it. And it's kind of crazy how the NFC picture is right now, because it's like if the Bears lose to the Packers this week and we go from 1st to 7th, that's insane. Like the NFC picture is unbelievable right now, because it's like you got 3 teams in NFC West, all with 9 wins. You have the defending Super Bowl champions, the Eagles. They're falling apart right now. The Cowboys, who sucked to start the year, they're climbing back up and look like one of the best teams in football and could be the NFC West representation. The Bucks, who were electric the first few weeks, have fallen off, and now you got the Panthers nipping on their heels. Bryce Young looking like a number 1 overall pick. The NFC is crazy right now. Like, the ball that's happening over there is electric. I love it, and I cannot wait to see how things play out. I hope the Bears end up making the playoffs. I feel like we should, because that defense is elite. I don't think we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Obviously, it'd be really cool if we did. I don't think that's the case. I think there's still more time to grow. But you know what? Here's my stance on how the Bears are doing right now. If this has been Johnson's first year, right, first offseason, and we're going into the second, I'm so pumped to see what's going to happen next, right? Another offseason with Ben Johnson to bring in his guys, draft his guys. I can't wait for it, because there's a lot of players on the team now that are not going to be here next year that I think they're here just because of contract stuff. I think DJ Moore is one good example. I think DJ's gone after this. I would like to keep Cole Kmet for like a blanket option kind of thing, but I think he's going to be gone too. I would like to keep him, but I understand why he'd be gone. But I think DJ Moore is out, for example. I think there are some other players that are going to be out. It's just like, hey, whatever the contract is, whatever, get them out. It's time to get my guys in. Either way, it's exciting. The NFC is very exciting. I have no idea how it's going to play out. Matt Stafford's looking like a legitimate MVP. He just crossed over a winning quarterback starting record recently. That is insane to think about. And the NFC playoffs are going to be wild. I cannot wait to see who the final 7 is going to be. On the AFC side of things, one thing I want to talk about is just Mike Tomlin, because if you didn't see this, Steelers fans booed Renegade this weekend. That's crazy. I think they're ready. I think they're ready to get rid of Tomlin. I understand the man has never had a losing record, and I'm a big Tomlin supporter. I love Mike Tomlin. I talked to a Steelers fan earlier who's one of the ASMs at one of the stores that I service, and he said that he just thinks Steelers fans are tired of mediocrity, right? Like, it's cool to have that badge of honor that you've never had a losing season, but hey, we kind of want to get over the hump, We want to kind of get over to the next level and not just continue to do the 8-8s of old or the 9-8s of today. Like, we want to kind of get like maybe like a 12-win season, 11-win season. I think they're just tired of it. And could this be Mike Tomlin's last year as a Steeler? It would not shock me. It would not shock me if that was the case. And where could he possibly go? I'll tell you up front, I like Miami. I like Miami as a destination for Mike Tomlin. That's one to watch for, because that team has a lot of talent. And even though they've kind of been playing a lot better, I still think Mike McDaniels is out potentially. I think he's very firmly on the hot seat. But that could change. If they finish strong, they could hold on to Mike McDaniel. But like, if you're Miami, do you want Mike McDaniel or do you want Mike Tomlin? I mean, which Mike do you want? I prefer Mike Tomlin. That's me. I think Miami is a spot to watch for him. I don't think he's going to go for one of these teams that are like colossal shit shows and need to like rebuild everything. Who knows? But I say that, and he could go to the Giants, honestly. I just thought of that. Could go to the Giants. But I guess it's also the question, does he want to work with that dipshit Joe? Who was like, did you guys see this? He was like 30 minutes late to his meeting today. That's crazy. Or his presser, whatever it was. I will say, I don't know if he'd go to the Giants strictly because of Joe. Mike would probably want to come in and be like, yeah, I'll come, but you got to fire this dipshit. I want this dipshit gone right now. If he's gone, I'm in, because I got Jackson Dart, I got Cam, I got Malik, I got some pieces, right? I'm going to get Carter, in line mentally. That boy ain't going to be late again. I'm going to whip his ass if he is, right? I think Mike Tomlin and the Giants could be a deadly combination. But I also like Mike Tomlin and the Dolphins. But then again, he could just be a Steeler. I don't know. We'll see. Circle back to college real quick, because I totally forgot about all the talk about all the other coaching stuff that's taking place. There's a lot that's happened. Shout out to so many of the hires. Golish going to Auburn. We got Summerall going to Florida. Silverfield going to Arkansas. I think the BYU coach is staying at BYU. He was temporarily kind of talking about going to Penn State. I think that was a money thing. Penn State still don't have a coach. And like they've got like 5 committed recruits. They've lost their entire recruiting class. Jay Frank's picking them off. And you know what? I love to see it. Jay Frank should not have been fired. I don't care what you say. Tyler, the Penn State fan here, he agrees. Should not have been fired, and he loves to see what's happening. Like, who's going to be Penn State's coach? Like, legit. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts, because this is a crazy situation. I saw something apparently where Jimmy Sexton is apparently like making it difficult for them to get candidates. I don't know, man. This shit crazy. Who is going to be Penn State's coach? Because I legit have no clue at this point. Because like you got all these like big names that are coming off the board or whatever left and right. It's like, who at this point is left? Like, I feel like legitimately, are you just waiting on someone else that's going to be in the college football playoff trying to make a swing there? I don't know, man. I don't know. But like also one thing I do like, so I do like how like for all these group schools, the ones that are like really in the contention right now, I like that we're getting to see them kind of play things out a little bit. Like Bob Chesney with James Madison. I think he's going to be playing things out with Sunbelt. I know Eric Morris and Summerall with North Texas and Tulane are going to get to see how things play out if they go to the college football playoffs, winning the championship and stuff. So I do like that we're seeing that stuff. And I know a lot of people are wanting to use that and take it back to the Lane Kiffin Ole Miss situation, but to Ole Miss's, kind of credit a little bit, like, hey, that is their number one rival, but it is what it is kind of thing. But I don't know. A lot of crazy stuff happening in the coaching world for college football. Let me know your thoughts on the Penn State one, because that's crazy. They have 5 recruits right now. They've lost almost everybody. And Virginia Tech, they're about to be a powerhouse again in the ACC. Mark my words, man. Jay Frank has already made huge waves on that school, and they're about to turn the whole damn thing around. Also, shout out to that one kid flipping from Georgia to Vandy, but then he also tweeted out that he didn't do that, and like he didn't know where it's coming from, but then apparently it's still legit. And now Vandy got like the 3rd best quarterback in the entire country in the recruiting class. That's crazy. Vandy, like I was in the mindset of, man, once Diego and this current group is gone, man, are they going to go down to like a 6-6 record, 8-win season, whatever? Oh man, I mean, like Chuck over there, he's making moves, dude. Vandy could be relevant for some time. Like this is kind of crazy. All right, I'm gonna be honest, I can't think of anything else to really talk about because my throat low key still kind of hurts. So let's go through some conference championship picks on who I think is going to come out on top. Let's jump in. To it. First up is the Conference USA Championship with Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State. What a wombo combo for this dying conference. Give me Kennesaw State, baby. Give me the Owls, because Braun Breaker went there and he's a dog. Sun Belt, we got Troy and James Madison. Give me James Madison. I think James Madison can walk away with this one and put themselves in a potential position to make the college football playoffs. But I don't think it's playoff. They are also a minus 23.5 favorite right now. That is crazy. North Texas and Tulane for the American. I like North Texas here. I like this quarterback who did not play at all throughout high school, which is crazy, and probably going to be a future Indiana Hoosier. Maybe we'll see. He might also just be a Cowboy. He's probably just going to be an Oklahoma State Cowboy. But either way, give me North Texas here. I like North Texas over Tulane in the American Championship. Over in the Mountain West, UNLV and Boise State. Give me UNLV. I want to see them keep the championship with a Mountain West team. I'm not really mad at Boise State leaving specifically because, like, realistically, they should have left a decade ago. But, like, either way, I want to see the championship stay in the Mountain West. And you know what? Next year, Hawaii better take home the Mountain West crown. I'm just telling you. Over in the Big 12, BYU and Texas Tech. Give me Texas Tech in this game. That defense is legit, and I cannot wait to see it. Plus, I absolutely hate BYU. I think they're absolute frauds. Also, NCAA set this game out to absolutely die because the MAC championship set to kick off at 11 o'clock. As well as the Big 12 championship. Like, that's diabolical. No one's going to be watching the MAC championship except for me, because I'm a psychopath. I'd rather watch the MAC over the Big 12 because I am a psychopath. So either way, go back to my main point. Give me the Broncos. SEC championship, Georgia and Bama. Give me Georgia in this one. And honestly, I feel like even for Bama, I think Kalen low-key wants himself to lose because, like, I'm kind of buying into the hype Tyler's kind of been pitching in our Discord that, once again, you should join, by the way, where I think Kalen might be the next Penn State coach. Something to watch. But yeah, give me Georgia on this one. Big Ten championship. Sorry, Jacob. Give me the Hoosiers. I love Kurt Cignetti. I love this team. I love what they bring to the table. Oh, this Ohio State defense, though, is legit. Like this Ohio State defense is legit. Julian is playing very, very well. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout. I think it's going to be a very tight game, but give me Indiana just barely. Big Ten championships. Let's go. I want to see it. And lastly, the ACC championship, Duke and Virginia. Just give me Virginia. Although I would kind of like to see Duke win just to incite complete chaos. And as a Miami fan, I would also like to see Duke win because, you know, that means that the guy that we fired won an ACC championship before Mario. And I just think that's funny. I'm here for the memes. All right. I know that sounds diabolical. It's like, how can you as a fan say that? It's like, because I'm here for the memes. All right. I'm here for chaos. Give me chaos. I'm not going to go through NFL picks this weekend. All I'm going to say is I really hope the Bears beat the Packers. It's going to be a pretty interesting next 3 weeks. Play the Packers, play whoever we were going to play next, who I don't remember who's next, and then play the Packers again. So kind of stressing, really stressed out about that. Give me the Bears. I'm going to hope this defense rocks and rolls. This defense has been playing incredible all year with Dennis Allen and all the guys. So I'm really hoping for a big dub there with the Bears beating the Packers. Other than that, I don't really give a shit about the rest of the NFL this week. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate the hell out of you. I don't know why you made it to the end because this show sucks. This is also the first show I've ever done solo because I said this at the beginning of the season that hey, if anyone if all of our availabilities are all over the place, I do a solo show in front of the green screen. I just haven't done it. I have not. I think the few times that I've everyone's been unveiled, I think I've just taken a break. There was also the period where I was just on vacation, out of state, whatever. But either way, first solo episode. Let me know your thoughts on. Let me know your thoughts on the format of me just rambling and yapping. Comment down below, answering any questions that I put down in the comments because I'm going to put a question for every single topic that I did today, and I want to know your thoughts. I want to talk to you, and also join the Discord. You can come chat with us about sports too. That'd be pretty cool of you. Or don't, because we kind of suck when we give terrible opinions, is what we do. It's why it's called a terrible football show. But if you like terrible opinions, then you've come to the right place. Just like if you like terrible designed merch, go to spark3shop.com. You can pick up some really bad merch. And if you're into that kind of thing, then again, you're in the right place. So with all that said, I think that's it. My throat hurts, so this is it. I'm done. Get out of here. Bye. All right, if you made it all to the end, I appreciate you. Drop a comment down below and answer every single question that I'm throwing down in the comments. All right, if you made it all the way to the end, if you made it all